Welcome to the AI for Career Success podcast by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition.
This is episode 170. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Fred. Today, we're looking at a deal that, well, it fundamentally rewrites the rules of the AI hardware landscape.
And more importantly, it signals where you, the smart professional, should be focusing your energy for a real career advantage over the next decade.
We are talking about the massive $20 billion strategic maneuver by Nvidia. It involves the AI chip startup Groq.
A deal that was struck just before Christmas. And this isn't just about big money. It is, I think, a strategic revelation.
Yeah, and for context, all of our analysis today comes from a recent article by our producer, Curt Robbins.
That's right. It's titled Nvidia's $20 billion Groq Deal, Not What You Think. 5 takeaways, and it was published on LinkedIn on January 6, 2026.
And our goal today is pretty simple. This move by Nvidia, it's so much more than just a simple acquisition. It's really a detailed playbook.
It absolutely is, a playbook for dominating the next phase of the AI revolution.
So we're going to unpack those 5 key strategic takeaways because they reveal exactly where the future of AI value, the real sustainable profit is going to be. All right, so let's start with this deal structure. It's pretty unusual.
It is.
When you hear a number like $20 billion, you just immediately think, total corporate takeover.
Right, shutting down a competitor, absorbing everything.
Exactly. But the source material makes it really clear this was, well, anything but conventional.
And that's the first crucial insight here. It's essential for understanding modern Silicon Valley strategy. Nvidia went out of its way to avoid a conventional takeover.
They structured it as an acqui license.
Yes, an acqui license.
Okay, that sounds like some serious corporate lawyer jargon for something incredibly complicated. Can you break down what that actually is?
I can. It's a combination of 2 things, really. First, a non-exclusive license for Groq's core intellectual property, their architectural blueprints.
Okay, so the blueprints.
And that's coupled with a strategic talent acquisition, or what they call an acqui-hire. So basically, Nvidia bought the brains and the schematics.
But they left the business unit intact.
That's the key. They intentionally left it intact. Their Groq Cloud business is still operating independently. They've even got a new CEO, Simon Edwards.
But the crucial human capital, the brains behind the whole thing, they moved over to Nvidia.
They did. That includes the founder, Jonathan Ross, President Sunny Madra, and a bunch of other senior leaders.
Okay, but I have a question. If they only bought a non-exclusive IP license, doesn't that mean competitors like AMD or Intel could theoretically license some of those same ideas?
They could.
So why spend $20 billion on a non-exclusive deal? That seems like a huge risk.
That's a great question, and it really gets to Nvidia's priorities. Speed and avoiding regulators. The source highlights that moving with velocity was everything. A conventional multi-billion-dollar acquisition would trigger lengthy antitrust reviews, all sorts of regulatory headaches.
The courtroom drama.
Exactly. By using the acqui license structure, they got their core goals, the talent, and the architectural DNA immediately while just sidestepping all of that.
So the takeaway here for anyone watching the market is that speed to market actually beat absolute ownership.
That's it. This hybrid acquisition model is becoming the new norm to get past regulatory friction fast.
And we've seen this before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It echoes other similar deals we've seen, like Meta's arrangement with Scale AI or what Google did with Windsurf. This is just how the giants operate now when time is money.
That structure makes a ton of strategic sense. But, this deal sends an even more powerful signal, I think a financial one, about where the future revenue in AI is.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the second key takeaway. For so long, the focus was all on training. This deal is focused somewhere else.
It's a definitive statement that the long-term sustained value is in AI inference.
Right.
So, to clarify the tech side for everyone listening, training is the one-time huge capital investment. It's teaching the massive model with petabytes of data.
That's all the heavy lifting up front.
Right. But inference, that's the recurring operational expense. It's the moment-to-moment usage of the AI.
So asking ChatGPT a question, generating an image,
or running a complex data analysis, inference scales directly with how often users are actually interacting with the AI.
So if training is the colossal one-time cost of building the factory, inference is, the constant energy bill.
It's the energy bill, and it's the fee you charge for every single product that factory produces. It's the annuity revenue.
An annuity. And that's what Nvidia is targeting.
Precisely. By acquiring Groq's specific technology, which is purpose-built for high-speed, cost-efficient inference, Nvidia is going right after that continuous, sustained revenue stream. There's a quote in the source from Jonathan Ross back in 2025 that just summarizes it perfectly. He said, "You spend your money when you're training the models. You make your money when you're actually doing inference."
Wow. That is the critical signal for working professionals then. The future profit isn't just in building the models.
Nope.
It's in efficiently, rapidly, and cheaply running them at scale. So if you're structuring your career around AI, you have to understand that operational deployment is now the center of gravity.
Yes. The entire value proposition has shifted from that initial foundation to the daily high-speed usage.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Career Success podcast. So before the break, we were talking about that massive financial shift toward inference. Now let's get into the third strategic takeaway, the talent. Specifically, Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, this is where the deal gets, I think, really personal for the industry.
It does.
I was genuinely surprised that Jonathan Ross was the specific person they acquired. I mean, he's not just a founder.
No.
He's the engineering genius who, while he was at Google, invented the tensor processing unit.
The TPU. That feels, I don't know, like a very deep, targeted move.
The significance is immense. Because the TPU is widely seen as the most credible architectural competition that Nvidia has ever faced. Period.
And Google used that in-house TPU architecture to build this really powerful vertical stack.
They did, and it proved that specialized chips could fundamentally challenge Nvidia's long-standing GPU dominance, at least in certain use cases.
So this is just a masterstroke of strategy. It's defensive because you're neutralizing the architect of your biggest rival, but it's also offensive because you're integrating that world-class expertise right into your own team.
And that perfectly sets the stage for the fourth takeaway, which is the absolute bet on specialization.
Right. Nvidia built its empire on general-purpose chips, GPUs.
The graphics processing units, yeah. Supported by the CUAX software, they're versatile workhorses. They can do almost anything.
But Groq wasn't making general-purpose hardware. They were building something else. They were building language processing units, LPUs, specifically tailored just for AI inference.
So while the GPU is great at everything,
the LPU is specialized. Groq's chips are described in the source as absolute beasts at that one specific task of inference.
And why is that?
Because they eliminate all the complexity of handling general-purpose tasks. So Groq's LPUs just deliver faster, cheaper answers than a generalized GPU can.
So this $20 billion move is basically Nvidia admitting.
It's them admitting that for the rapidly growing inference market, specialized hardware is the future, and they need to own that specialized lane immediately.
So the career advice here is pretty obvious. If the biggest hardware player in the world is betting on specialized hardware over generalized chips,
then you, the listener, should be betting on specialized skills in your field, not just general competence. The market is valuing unique, rapid expertise. And that leads us right into the fifth, and I think the most counterintuitive takeaway. It involves the technology itself.
This part is fascinating.
Groq achieved this breakthrough performance not through cutting-edge components, but through brilliant architecture.
It sounds like something out of science fiction. I mean, they achieved these incredible speeds using older 14-nanometer technology.
Right, while the rest of the industry is obsessed with 3-nanometer, 2-nanometer chips, pushing the absolute limits of physics.
That's just amazing.
Think of it this way. Groq didn't buy a faster car. They redesigned the entire traffic system so radically that their older cars suddenly moved faster than everyone else's brand new supercars.
And that proved it.
It proved definitively that Groq's competitive edge came from superior LPU architecture, not from, expensive raw component upgrades.
And that architectural DNA, that's what Nvidia paid $20 billion for. The idea that smart design can beat brute force manufacturing.
Absolutely. It's a powerful lesson in engineering. But the final layer of the strategy is how Nvidia ensures this highly specialized tech doesn't break their dominance.
They need the software checkmate.
The software moat, yes. CEO Jensen Huang confirmed the plan is to fully integrate Groq's specialized processors into Nvidia's AI factory architecture.
So the real power move is extending CDX.
Exactly. Extending that powerful C2X software library to run Groq's specialized LPUs seamlessly.
Which is the classic lock-in strategy.
Yeah.
CDX is already the de facto operating system for AI development.
It is. So by absorbing Groq directly into that ecosystem, NVIDIA creates this truly unified platform. Developers now get general-purpose GPUs for training and hyper-specialized Groq LPUs for inference.
All within the same software environment.
The same powerful, inescapable software environment. They now own the training lane and the inference lane, and it's all tied together by their dominant software. It ensures their ecosystem just remains essential.
What a strategic masterclass.
Okay.
To quickly summarize the 5 takeaways for our listeners, first, it was the acquilicense structure.
Prioritizing speed and regulatory avoidance over outright ownership.
Second, it signaled that the long-term annuity revenue is squarely in inference, not just training.
Third, they acquired Jonathan Ross, the architect of the rival TPU, which secured expertise and neutralized a primary competitive mind.
Fourth, it showed Nvidia is fully betting on specialized LPU hardware to dominate that growing inference market.
And fifth, it demonstrated the power of architectural innovation proving superior design can beat raw component power. Using older 14-nanometer chips can outpace the raw power of expensive, bleeding-edge nanometer processes. What does that imply for your career strategy?
Should you focus your energy on simply upgrading your existing tools and knowledge, or on investing in a radical architectural shift and approach within your own professional field? Thank you for listening to the AI for Career Success podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.